So on CNN this morning, there was this really interesting discussion based on Bill Clinton's assertion that the first female president of the United States will be a Republican woman, right? And everybody was sort of, giving their 2 cents about whether they agreed with him on that or not. I am not enough of a political pundit or expert to really be able to give a very sort of not, a deep dive into whether I agree with this or not. And I don't really, but my knee jerk is that it's not even a question of the party. I think she could be a Democrat just as easily as she could be a Republican or even gasp an independent. It's not inconceivable. Nikki Haley, I know she ran in the primary against Trump and she got some votes. I think she might have even won one of the states, as compared to Kamala, who didn't win any states when she ran against Joe Biden in 2020. Haley is a prominent Republican, right? One would say, and she has some leadership qualities that she's Indian. Kamala Harris is half Indian. Nikki Haley is fully Indian. Both are from immigrant parents. Again, one has full Indian ancestry and one has 50%. But Nikki has a totally different personality to Kamala, I think. I think that the image, well, maybe it's a TV thing, but the image I have of the first female president of the United States, she sort of looks like if you watch The Diplomat on Netflix, the vice president in that show is kind of like how I see the first female president of the United States. She's going to have the short bob hair. She's going to be very serious, but with some elegance to her. Um, yeah, and she's just it's a persona, and if you think about it, life is very much a persona. The persona that you have is sort of going to determine your life. And if there's a woman who can give off that persona, that it's so hard to describe it, but you know she has to be someone who has like a hardness to her, but not like 100% hardness. She can't be a smiling, laughing woman. If you said I've never heard her laugh, it's a positive, is as far as inspiring the kind of leadership that she's going to need to inspire to convince not just her party, but the broader electorate to vote for her and to take her seriously as a presidential candidate. Um, so we have Nikki Haley, who's a Republican. Just to go back to what Bill Clinton said, Ivanka Trump, believe it or not, she has potential. She has potential, I think, because first of all, she would get a lot from her father. A lot of the quote unquote goodwill that her father has, even though I think they have clearly had a falling out. It's just my opinion. I don't think that relationship is the same. I don't think it needs to be the same in order for Ivanka to piggyback off of her dad. And she wouldn't necessarily have to do it in 2028. She could give it some time. She's about maybe 40, so she could give it 10 to 15 years, right, before she puts her hat in the ring. But people will remember, and she could get away with it because she has that, um, she's not a giggly, laughing kind of a woman. She's tall. She knows how to move. She has had modeling experience, so she moves well for a president. And she has the Trump name and so on and so forth. I mean, she, believe it or not, Ivanka Trump could do it, even though I think her father, somehow he's been turned off from her. I don't know, something happened there. I think it looks to me there's been a divorce there. Now, Lara Trump, the daughter-in-law of President elect Trump, she clearly would love to be able to have that kind of a gravitas, and she does try hard. And maybe they would consider her. Maybe they would consider her, but she's not in the same league as Ivanka, in my opinion. Now, by contrast, the Democratic women, Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton, I mean, both have faced scrutiny over, you know, their sort of personas and, their public personas. Harris's frequent giggling and laughing, for some people, even across the globe, they see it as unpresidential. She doesn't inspire the kind of gravitas that people need to see in an American president. When you talk about the leader of the free world, there's got to be more seriousness, more grit, more iron will. Like that's why Margaret Thatcher succeeded, is because she just was able to take, she was a tiny little woman, but she was able to take out that whole feminine thing and not make it be the first thing people think about when they look at her. She was icy, ice cold, and that's an important thing. Clinton also was a laughing woman. She liked to laugh, and then there was the pantsuits and so on. You can't sort of have too much of a defined wardrobe, too much of a curated wardrobe if you're going to be the first American president, right? And yeah, the hair is going to be straight in a bob. She's going to be slim and tallish and slim, but not like, you know, too modelly. And yeah, she's going to have ideas, like when you think of her platform, you specifically will know without having to pick your brain too much what does she stand for? Whereas maybe for like with Kamala Harris, I mean, it doesn't really jump out at you like her actual platform. I mean, you knew what Trump was going to do, but Kamala was more hazy. So the woman who wins, she's not going to be hazy, she's going to be a firebrand, a firecracker. I mean, you're going to know what she stands for, but she's not going to be hysterical. She's not going to be laughing. She's not going to be an ethnic minority, right? She's not going to be too pretty woman either. She's going to be, attractive, but in a very sort of um, distilled way, whatever that even means, and she's going to be icy and she's going to be, you know, I don't know. I mean, look, Margaret Thatcher and Angela Merkel exemplified how female leaders can stand toe to toe with global leaders while shaping their own nation's destinies, right? For the first U.S. female president, whether Republican or Democrat, the ability to project such strength and inspire trust will be paramount, right? If a Republican woman achieves this first, it could mark a turning point in redefining female leadership in America. And if a Democratic woman does it first, ditto for her, right? I don't think it's a question of the party. I think it's the woman herself, and there are many women who fit this already in America, but they don't want anything to do with politics. And who can blame them? Who can blame them, right? Um, yeah. So that's all for this one, you guys. See you in the next one. Do subscribe, hit the thumbs up, leave a nice comment, and hit the notification bell so that you get updates as soon as I throw these up on the board. Okay, you guys? Bye.